So my last part, I will say, is I don't know Mark Edwards personally. I've never met him. I don't really know what's in his mind. I don't know why he's attacking Scott Smith. I don't know why he's attacking me. He did do a blog post this morning posting my emails to them over the weekend, suggested that I threatened him and all these things. Again, I told him very clearly, if you don't take those doctored videos down, which on retrospect, I shouldn't have asked him to do in the first place. If he wants to put it up and keep it up, that looks poorly on him. I will just respond, which I'm doing now. And I told him, if you want to go to battle with me publicly, this is TYT's audience size. If you think that's a threat, then sure, say I threatened him. But the bottom line is, this individual is kind of looked at as the preeminent source in Flint. And he has led this narrative that the lead situation is getting better in Flint and that there's no other problem. You saw in the original video I showed his audio with the resident, him saying it's all in your head, there's nothing wrong with you, when the resident can't breathe when he takes a shower, when the resident has rashes, when the resident has health issues when he's taking a shower. This EPA-funded scientist who's doctoring video footage to paint me in a certain way, who's insinuating if you are a special ed kid, you're somewhat challenged or not intelligent, I don't know. He is suggesting it's all in your head to the resident. Well, I also want to give you the facts on the funding Mark Edwards has gotten. You can make a decision on your own whether that funding has anything to do with anything, but I'm going to give you the facts here. So, in March of March 1st, 2016, Mark Edwards and Virginia Tech were awarded $80,000 by the EPA for more testing in Flint. The press release I'm reading is from March 1st. March 1st. So on March 15, to Mark Edwards' credit, giving him credit, he testified in front of Congress and criticized the EPA. So right after he got the initial $80,000, he criticized the EPA for them not taking responsibility in terms of the Flint water crisis. So he got 80 grand, I think, on March 1st. Obviously, the money wasn't delivered right then and there, but the pledge to Virginia Tech and Mark Edwards was on March 1st, and on March 15th, he criticized the EPA. Well, I have emails here that confirm, let me show you here, hold on, that Mark Edwards got additional money from Virginia Tech. So I'm trying to block out the email addresses here, but here it says, thanks for the information, and to confirm in this is in addition to the prior 80,000, now making it 125,000. Let me get a little closer for you. Now making it $125,000 in money he's gotten from the EPA. And the EPA individual, her name is Nancy. Sorry, I'm trying my best not to show phone numbers. She says, thanks, the information below is correct. She actually spells is wrong. So Mark Edwards, that was, by the way, in July of 2016. So March 1st, he gets 80 grand. March 15th, he criticizes the EPA in front of Congress. I don't know when the rest of the money, it went from 80 grand to $125,000 in grants. I don't know when the rest of the money got sent to him, but in July, the EPA confirms via email that that is true. He's gotten $125,000. In August of 2016, here's the article. Virginia Tech researcher Mark Edwards said Flint is in the beginning of the end of the public health disaster associated with its water crisis. New testing results announced Thursday, August 11th by Virginia Tech researchers show less Flint residents are reporting detectable levels of lead in their drinking water. Researchers also found there was nothing out of the ordinary about levels of disinfection byproducts in the city's water supply. Things are dramatically better now than they were in 2015. The announcement comes 3 days before the end of federal emergency declaration, which is expected to expire August 14th. Water filters, replacement cartridges, and bottled water will continue to be distributed for free to residents as local, state, and federal officials say they will continue to respond to the city's drinking water. So, I gave you the timeline. You could decide from that your thoughts, but it seems that in July, the EPA confirms he's been granted $125,000 in EPA grants, and in August he declares that the situation is dramatically better than the year before. So I'll let you take that into consideration. So there's a few things before I end. Again, I saw that he did this original blog post on me in May, and I didn't respond because, people are going to write or say negative things about you. Sometimes it's going to be deceptive, and you can't battle everybody. But when I saw that he was trying to plant stories with the media, and I know the corporate media and how bad they are and the research they do not do, I thought, you know what? I should respond to this. I sent an email. I said, I will not go public if you take this down. Again, I don't think I should have asked him to take it down, but it's over now. Instead, he chose to put those emails up on a blog post this morning claiming I threatened him. Well, now you know some more, the facts. There's other information that I have that I cannot discuss today. I need permission from certain sources to put them on the record. So if I do get that permission, I will discuss it. But I think it's important that people know the sources and what those sources are doing that the corporate media anoints as the voices of the Flint water crisis, and this is who we should listen to. I'm a little suspect of a EPA-funded scientist or lead expert who finds it necessary to basically doctor video footage, splicing videos together that don't fit together to kind of paint a narrative and attack journalists and other water experts. You know who takes video out of context? Fox News. You know who deceptively edits video? Fox News. It's a very right-wing method of doing things. So, lastly, I'll show you what he did one more time. Scott Smith with the Water Defense Council. You're more on the scientific end.
I said I don't know whether it's safe to shower and bathe. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a toxicologist. And I'm no PhD in statistics because I'm not a trained plumber or pipe fitter.
I'm no scientist. I'm no environmental expert. Most of you don't know this, but I was in special ed from 1st to 3rd grade. I had a learning disability. It's a whole story. I don't think I needed to be in special ed. I'm no doctor either. But also, I'm not a medical expert, but I am an expert on what medical experts have told me. Does that sound about right?
Correct.
Yes.
Well said.
Yes, Dr. Sheridan. So, for my brothers and sisters in special ed, I stand with you. I'm going to reach out to Virginia Tech to ask them what their thoughts are on their employee insinuating something negative about people in special ed. I'd like to know what Virginia Tech thinks about that. I'd also love to know why Mark Edwards felt the need to take video out of sequence to fit his narrative. Let me tell you what he said in his blog post today so we can establish what he says. His headline was, TYT Network Threatens Flint Water Study, Demands Removal of Blog Post or Face Public Battle. Last week, we received emails from Mr. Jordan Sheridan, political reporter with the Young Turks, after first threatening legal action related to our recent post highlighting improper water sampling methods by TYT and Scott Smith of Water Defense. I've already shown you that the methods that I took are not out of the ordinary. Sheridan warned he was, quote, working on an additional piece which proves Dr. Edwards is a hack. I did say that. He then threatened a public dispute with the largest online news channel in the world. Never used the term threaten. Did tell him what the largest online news source in the world, how big our audience is. I don't know what's wrong with that. And I asked for the entire post taken down and your blog issue a correction. I did ask. He said, if we met his demands, Sheridan stated, I'm willing to do nothing publicly. I didn't say demands, but I did say I'm willing to do nothing publicly if you take it down. Mr. Sheridan further asserted that we had selectively edited the videos in our post to make him look bad. While we did take short illustrative video snippets from TYT and Mr. Smith's online videos, we also provided web links to the complete videos. Yes, you took short illustrative video snippets. Hey, was I born yesterday? He didn't take short illustrated video snippets. He spliced together totally separate video clips to try and paint a narrative. So as I end, I want to be clear. This is not about me. It's not about Mark Edwards. I don't care about Mark Edwards. He could do whatever he wants. What I do care about is when people are deceptively and fraudulently trying to paint my reporting as fraudulent or not accurate. If I make a mistake, I will admit it. I also think the audience and the public has a right to know that the individual that the New York Times wrote a glowing puff piece about, that other outlets use as the Holy Grail, well, he's not so holy. And he kind of does deceptive practices. And the people he's insinuating are hacks. Well, the EPA is inviting them to speak at their conferences. The EPA is doing side-by-side testing with them. And the EPA told me, Jordan Sheridan, that they acknowledge Scott Smith's testing and have a good working relationship with him. Again, it's not about Scott Smith. I don't have any issue. I don't need to defend Scott. He can defend himself. But I have used Scott as part of my reporting. So if you're going to attack Scott and try to connect me to Scott, well, that's a problem. So I'm going to cut this video up into different parts because it's long as is. We're going to put it on youtube.com/2ytpolitics. We're going to add the video in that I was flipping the camera around. We'll add it in a non-guerrilla style. And you can take it from there and do what you want. But the only thing I care about, I don't care about Mark Edwards. And I don't care about Scott Smith and all this stuff. I care about getting the facts and the truth out for the residents of Flint, East Chicago, or anywhere else that is victims of environmental racism. Which this is the case. Whether it's black people, whether it's Latino people, poor white people, this is environmental racism based on color, and also racism based on income. Thank you for watching. I will be doing other videos. I'm going to Chicago tomorrow for the People's Summit. You'll see me in Chicago. And again, thank you for sticking with me. Now you know the facts. Take care.